has gotten so big that now it appears a straight line.
Sometimes when you write a song, you think it's going to be easy to go into the studio and record it, but remember, you've got a melody and you got some chords, and then you have to come up with, okay, what is everything else going to be? And that's usually where I take over, but on this particular one, I remember after I got started, I did get really stuck on this one. And there's a good friend of mine who is also another honorary Gray member called James Riley.
James.
Who I've worked with for many years. I was in a band with him literally as soon as I moved out to California. He was in my first band. And
Western Edge?
Western Edge. And James is a phenomenal guitarist. He's a phenomenal, he plays harmonica just unbelievable. And he's just, an amazing musician all around. And he and I happened to be working on some things, and I ran this song by him, and I told him I was in a bit of a rut. He came up with, and it's amazing how this works. He just came up with one small segment of a bass line to this verse, and somehow that broke the log jam for me. Once I heard that, I was like, I could like take it over completely, because it just broke this log jam, and then I heard everything. I heard how the drums should go, I heard how the bass line should go, I heard the complementing guitar parts and all of that. And after that, it actually went fairly quick. The recordings, sometimes they go smooth, sometimes they go difficult. This one was actually difficult until that log jam got broke.
But this is also this value of collaboration and having outside forces. This isn't the old days back in the 60s where one guy you can compete. There's so many dynamics now. It's not just writing a song. It's coming up with a production, an emotional production with dynamics in it.
When you're working by yourself, sometimes it flows easily, but sometimes you just really get stuck. This is the same thing for songwriting too, incidentally, which is why Matt and I like working together. It always seems to go, we seem to be able to progress.
We seem to get somewhere. But there are times when we're writing, it does feel at times like you're trying to pound a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah.
And then, like Steve says, one little thing can break the log jam. And we're just so used to it. We're used to having these logs piling up and it looks impossible. And then all of a sudden, boom, we're like, oh, this is good. We're happy.
Yeah.
And honestly, we know pretty early in the writing process. We've got dozens and dozens and dozens of songs that we toyed with that are just, they're cute ideas. Some of them are rolling around in the back of our heads, but the log jam piled up too quick and there wasn't any way out.
And incidentally, this is a very common thing for those of you who are out trying to do your own music and stuff. It's very common. I heard an interview once with Tom Petty where he talked about when he was writing The Waiting, he said he came up with that opening guitar line. And he said, I had that, and he said, I sat there on the couch for 6 months just playing that because I couldn't come up with anything else. He finally came up with the rest of it. So it happens to everybody. It's nice to have other people to bounce ideas off of.
Steve and I met, we wrote on our own. I don't even consider writing a song. Even if there's times I have brought Steve what was, a complete song in the sense of, I've got the verses, I've got the chorus, I've got the bridge, and I bring it to Steve. And I don't bring it to Steve because I want it to stay the same. I bring it to Steve so an outside, someone from the outside who I know and trust and we share our taste very much with, and we're going to be in agreement we get in a few we get into some debates. But the bottom line is, once one guy sells the other guy on what that idea is, we own it. It's both of our decisions in the end. Our songwriting has improved just exponentially ever since we just kind of decided this is a team effort. And we have no problems going to the outside and asking for help either.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we have some other songs that we've done with other people.
One
that you're going to be hearing here very soon. It's called Speed of Light.
Oh, Anthony Prail. Anthony Prail sent us some tracks, and Steve had played it for me, and we weren't sure. This is the thing about, I get inspired by potential stories. Steve is the master musician. I am not. But I remember Steve played me the tracks, and he was just saying, this is interesting, but I don't know what to do with it. And I never forget, I went round for like 2 days and nights going, I can see the passing of like lines on a freeway. I see time moving. I see something happening with that bending guitar. Well, you'll hear that in the future. We went round and round. It took us like 3 days. We went all the way from being on a train and on a plane, and all of a sudden we were a light beam.
Yeah.
And that broke that log jam. And we got really excited about that. We really loved that song. Yeah. Okay, so on the next video,
we should talk about the reactions.
Yeah, we should talk about the reactions we got from the Midwest. Very surprising reactions.
From everywhere. From everywhere.
Yes, from everywhere. That'll be in our next video, the reactions we've gotten from the initial launch of Cute Little Lesbians. And we'll see you then.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Lover pulls up, she hops in the